Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Phoning It In. I'm Michael Carvelli, joined as always by John Terry.
What up?
And it has been you've had a busy couple weeks.
I have had a busy couple.
I can't remember. Were you on the road already when we recorded last time?
I don't think so. I haven't. I don't think so. I don't think I was, but unclear because it's been a while.
Yeah. U.S. Soccer, man, on the road.
Dude, first off, I just have to apologize because I feel like sorry, I was getting my mic plugged in there, a little off my game here. Been a while, man. Been a while. All my fault, completely my fault, actually. Because I have been I've been to 3 different cities in the last 14 days and been on a plane 6 times.
There you go.
In 14 days. So but we back.
Grinding it out.
Did little Cincinnati, little Kansas City, and then capped it off with Austin on Friday. So
3 great cities. Honestly, like three favorite cities to go to.
Solid. Cincinnati
had a great story that will always make it stand out.
Beer scene is good in Cincinnati. Kansas City, like you got barbecue, just a good place. And then Austin, I wish I had more time. I feel like every time I've gone to Austin, I've been super busy, so I haven't had time to So next time we go to Austin, I'm gonna stick around for a few days, I think, and explore.
I don't think I've ever gotten to go to Cincinnati as a person who could have beer.
Oh, interesting. So Cincinnati's fascinating. They have, and I don't know, so they have like a free streetcar, like a train, basically, that goes in like a figure 8 pattern around downtown. And they also have this thing called the brewery district, which like you'd think were like a ton of breweries, but there are 2 breweries up there. And there's a brewery called Rheingeist. Which is like super cool, like old building, like high ceilings. They have a rooftop, super good beer. And then they have something called Northern Row Brewery and Distillery, also has pretty good beer. But they're right across the street from each other. So it's like the cool thing about Cincinnati is it's like an old, I don't know how to explain it. It's like there's some older buildings and older parts of it that like are kind of cool. Like it's not like Victorian or like this like, it's not like this old like rich architecture, but it's like this old like kind of reminds me of Pittsburgh a little bit, like really vibrant, like working blue collar, like brick buildings, like nothing extravagant, but now like 100 years later, it's like these cool like brick structures, buildings that are like these little row houses. And I don't know. I like really actually enjoyed it. I
can see that.
So I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, it's like my kind of vibe. Like the Victorian stuff like rubs me the wrong way because it's like, okay, yeah, probably like, advocates for slavery, like just like bad, I don't know. But to be
fair, that's like,
a lot, but I don't know. It was cool, but the architecture was cool. It was just, like old factories and like old mills and that sort of stuff. And with these houses next to it, it was pretty cool.
And then, and you got to go to Kansas City.
I went to Kansas City.
And
I saw
importantly, got to be a part of the Lucas birthday festivities.
Exactly, man. Uncle John brought a birthday present to nephew Lucas.
There you go. I think mine got delivered right after everybody left. So did he like the shirt? I haven't seen the shirt, so I'm assuming it was
the shirt did not arrive yet.
Then you didn't bring a birthday present.
I did bring a birthday present, but the shirt did not.
Oh, what else did you get? I thought that was what you were getting.
I was, and then like the shipping time got all thrown off and whatever.
What'd you get?
I got him a set of like balls, like little rubber balls, and then in the birthday card that he like loves. Nick sent me pictures of him playing with him. I know. Then in the card, I sent it's the card can be redeemed for a beer in 20 years.
There you go.
Spice it up. So every year Lucas is getting a coupon for a beer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. I got him a couple books.
Oh, nice. Which ones?
So my initial goal is like every year to get him a movie to help shape his movie tastes, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Year 1, since they're not really doing a ton of screen time with him quite yet, I was like, I don't want to do a movie right away. If they're not going to do that. So one book is, I'm trying to think of the name. The name of the company is something like Block Book or something like that.
Okay.
So one book is called like City Block, which is just like taking you on a tour of like all the things that you might see in a big city or something like that, like all these different things. And then the other book that I got him is like a Marvel A to Z type book where it goes through the alphabet with him, but every letter is like a different Marvel like movie comic book character type thing. I can't tell if this is working or not because you have been frozen for like 10 seconds on my screen. So we might be pausing for technical difficulties. Okay, we're back. Let's see. I did the whole. We've never had to do like a pause on the recording.
I know we've gotten really good at recording. That was like, remember when we like the early days? I feel like someone's internet would drop out like all the time.
Yeah, it was usually mine. The internet in Charleston was always very bad.
So apologies. We'll see how this works.
Very good. But yeah, so basically, as I said a second ago, and then explained to you afterward when you got back, the Marvel book is like my way of doing my movie gift to him without actually doing a movie. So keep it adjacent. But also I saw that he got some photos with it, and he seems to like them. So that's cool.
Nice, dude.
They looked fun, really man. Cool. They looked like it's one thing like I didn't really know like what kind of books to get. Because I was like, oh, that'd be a cool thing. Because like I know that they read to him and that kind of thing, but I don't know what to get like a 1-year-old.
Did you read books growing? Like, did you have like children's books?
I love books. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I was a big Dr. Seuss guy. Was a big fan of like a lot of the books that have like since sort of been made into movies, like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Where the Wild Things Are, stuff like that. As a little kid, I liked those. I don't know.
Interesting.
What about you?
I did the Berenstain Bears a lot. That was probably when I was older.
Also really, really great.
Like Mike Mulligan and the Steam Shovel.
I don't know if I know what that is.
There's some good book. Goodnight Moon.
Yeah.
But to your point, a lot of books were like there were pictures of cities that I could just like look at and like,
yeah,
I really like that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, the craziest thing, by the way, on Lucas's birthday party, dude, the kid is, when we saw him in March, I would still categorize him as a baby, right? Like,
sure,
fairly useless individual, like can't really do a whole lot.
I would never say that about Lucas. For the record, anybody who's watching this, I would never say that about Lucas.
Dude, Lucas can scoot, man. Yeah. Like that kid is fat. Sorry,
he was moving pretty fast.
Dude, it's not even close. He's like 5 times as quick. He's like a little cheetah baby. I mean, he just zips.
Yeah.
So that was fun. The other part that was hilarious is they had a piñata. Mm-hmm. Lucas had very little interest in the piñata. Like Fran was trying to like show him how to like swing the bat. Well, before Lucas actually got to swing the bat, Francis just destroyed the piñata and candy went everywhere. It was one of
that part.
It was one of my all-time favorite Francis moments.
Did he like the candy part of the piñata?
Not much interest.
Didn't.
No.
Well, you gotta introduce them to it.
Yeah.
I think that's the great part about the first birthday is like now he's got his taste of everything, so he can be a little more acquainted with it.
But it was fun, man. Like Nick, kudos to thank you to Nick because he got barbecue delivered or he picked up Oklahoma Joe's, which was fantastic. Yeah, he had some local beer. I got to go to use his beer fridge in the refrigerator or in the garage, which was fun. Dude, it was great. It was a great time.
They had the whole fam there. It was great.
It was John and their family.
Yeah. It's so awesome how that worked out.
It was perfect. Like
where one of us got to be there to
send the pictures and was, I was like the annoying dude who was sending the pictures the entire time.
I love that. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, man. It's fun.
Man. So then you had Austin after that, and this is gonna be stupid of me to ask because I know you guys do stuff with the women's team and stuff as well. Downtime from now through the World Cup, or is it now kind of shifting to focus on?
We have 2 women's games.
Yeah.
June 25th in Denver, June 28th in Salt Lake City. Then we have 2 women's games in September, and then 2 women's games in November.
That's
and
not bad.
that is it from
That's not
now through the end of the year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really fucking good.
That's pretty good. Hold on, when were those fall dates again?
The dates are not confirmed.
Or well, like areas.
The FIFA window in September is like around Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
And then the FIFA dates in November are like mid-November.
Okay.
So I believe the Chicago Film Festival is in October.
You will be home from October 12th through the 23rd of 2022.
There is a fairly good likelihood I will be.
Let's go.
But I might not be.
Because they did announce the dates.
Oh, yeah, they did?
Yeah. So the 12th through the 23rd. So it'll be one of those stretches.
Hold on. If you talk for a minute, I can tell you for sure.
But it's going to be very exciting. I did look at, I'm not going to be able to go to Bentonville, obviously, but right. I did. Cody and I were looking at the lineup at the Bentonville Festival because you can do like the virtual tickets there.
Maybe sorry, really quickly. I will definitely, my God, near the latter half of it, I will definitely be in town.
Okay.
The beginning of it is kind of TBD.
Interesting.
So
that's encouraging.
I might try to get out of town for a little bit in October because it's like a little bit.
That's smart. Downtime. Encouraging because I remember now I went to the front half of the festival last year, and it was really good. I liked it a lot, but a lot of the movies that I was like the most excited for that were going to be there started in that back half. So that might be a nice little blessing in disguise. Who knows?
We'll see, dude. We'll see. We'll have a new deck. The deck got torn off.
I'll be a annoying house guest for a couple days again.
You're good, man. You know the train system now. You're gonna be a pro.
Really,
you're gonna be a pro. We won't put you on the brown line again.
Yeah, we'll see. But exciting time. I will say I've been like so jealous of your travel for work in the past. And I'm excited that I get to do some more traveling this year.
What a question for you when for like work, I'm assuming you mean work, but also like you're going to try to go to this. Yes. Maybe potentially come from you. Do you like, I mean, you've only done it once. How much like downtime do you have? Like, do you have downtime or is it like
for the tournaments and stuff?
Yeah. Or do you even know? You probably don't even know yet, really.
I mean, the one that we did in Atlanta, we had a little bit. I mean, it was like enough that I like if like, let's say there's one in Chicago, right? I would have time to get away and like hang out when we don't have stuff going on.
I've found that like to stay sane, like, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but to stay sane, I try to like go to a brewery every trip. I try to go to a local brewery. That's just like, even if it's for an hour or 90 minutes, like that makes me feel like I'm not just working the entire time.
Oh yeah.
So like you should do something like that. Like,
yeah, that's what we did. We did, the director and I would go out to like grab lunch somewhere or something like that, a few places. So that was really cool. And that's like the part that is, always the most fun about doing any of those trips like that is just getting to go out and see different things and try some of the food, try some of the beer or whatever. And especially because like, it does seem like some of these esports events get behind a lot.
Right.
So you end up having a little more time than you maybe originally thought, but
probably also depends like where they are too. Like if they're near stuff, it's easier to go get. Yeah. Like the one in Atlanta wasn't near anything. Yeah.
We were in College Park and it was like, to get the couple times that we went into like the downtown Atlanta area a few times, but that was a little bit of a drive, obviously. So, but not too bad. I don't know. Excited. I don't know where we're going next.
Yeah, like do you know your schedule? Like for me, I look
really
at the FIFA calendar and I know when and where.
I mean, like a lot of it kind of depends on like some of these big tournaments. So much of it is like, can does the team qualify, right? Like it's like, okay, you have these preliminary rounds where it's all online, and then you kind of get into the final where it's actually in person. So I think a lot of it will depend on stuff like that. I think there's something that they're doing for Madden during the week of the Big 12 title game for football season.
Hell yeah.
So that'll be in Dallas, right?
I wonder, do you think you will enjoy that more than when, like, obviously, like there's like a, thank you very much. There's just got brought some seltzer water.
Hi, Big Mo.
God, wow, she just appeared on. Did you hear her? Did you hear her say hello?
I didn't.
Oh, thought this was her first appearance on the podcast. Do you think you'll enjoy that more? Because, like, obviously you are more interested and knowledgeable about like a football video game than you are like League of Legends or whatever the hell that last game was.
Valorant.
Like you don't love playing first person shooter games.
Yeah.
So like, would you enjoy it more?
I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I will understand what's going on more.
Fair point.
Like, I will say with those games, like, not fully understanding like the ins and outs of like what they're doing. Like, you can still understand like if they're winning or losing pretty
100%.
well. And like, you can still get into it. Like, it was a lot of fun to watch, even though I have no idea what most of the stuff they were doing was. But like for stuff like Madden or Rocket League, even to an extent Call of Duty, like, I will at least have a better understanding of the game. Like, Valorant is the one that I just don't get compared to the others. So it will be nice when they play things that I play or that I have a better understanding of. So maybe in that way it'll be a little bit more fun. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Like, it's because so much of I'm kind of doing so little watching in a way too, because like I do watch for stretches, but so much of when I'm there, like, especially when they start playing, I am doing my photos, I'm getting video, I'm like off making
content machine, baby.
But yeah, basically, like, I'm trying to make graphics on the fly, like doing different things like that. So I don't get to watch like the entire thing, but like, you obviously have to watch enough to know like, okay, we're about to have like a big moment where they're going to celebrate or something like that. So it'll be cool. I do wonder if like me knowing the games better will make it harder for me to stop paying attention enough to do what I need to do.
But knowing I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like, I'll end up watching the game because I just get like too sucked into like the fact that I know the games better.
Like when the new NCAA football game comes out.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be fun.
Soon-ish.
Is it?
I think in like the next year, man.
Okay, I thought it was like 2023 or 4.
2023, the next year.
That's a long way away though.
I mean, considering it's been like 4 years. I mean, I don't know. I say that like I'll be playing video games in 3 years.
It's been more than 4 years.
Whatever.
It's been like 10 almost. Because wasn't the last one was at 14, right?
No.
Yeah,
it's later than that. No,
it's NCAA 14 is the last one.
I thought it was 16.
I don't think so. Let's double check.
Yeah, NCAA football 16 was a lot.
Who was on it? Who was on the cover?
1 second. It looks like, oh no, NCAA 14.
There we go. Love being right. Being right.
What can you do?
Denard Robinson on the cover of that one. Talk about a name that I just like haven't thought of in
years
since like 2014.
Oh yeah.
He stuck in the NFL for a second, right?
Yeah, for a hot minute. I mean, stuck. He was like
like he made it for a couple of years. He was there for a couple of years.
He was like a wide receiver, right?
Yeah, but I think everybody knew he wasn't going to be a quarterback.
Little dude.
Because that was back when they like never let the athletic quarterbacks be quarterbacks.
Right.
But man, I'm so excited for it.
It's gonna be fun, man.
I saw they're like hiring people to work on it.
Really?
So it's like a thing.
It's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah. It's gonna be so exciting, man. So speaking of games, I don't know. I can't remember if we talked about this on the show in the past or not, but like, so starting the new job, everything like that. Part of it is like, I had to get them like a list of equipment and things that I needed. Right.
This
And
is a new position, like new
new
team.
position,
Yeah.
completely new program. They've got not much right now. Like we're starting from scratch. And so I like kept joking to you guys because like one of the things that I just selfishly have wanted to buy myself for a long time that I've never done is get like one of those Nintendo Switch, like the handheld games. That a lot of people started playing like during the pandemic, and a lot of people started getting them more because it was such an easy thing to have. But I kept joking to you guys, like, I should just put this on my list of equipment, just like sandwich it in the middle of like other important things to see if I could like get away with it. And as a responsible employee, I did not do that. Because I felt really bad anyway about all the crap I was asking for.
Right.
But then I send the list out, and then 3 days later, I get a text from the boss saying, "Hey, by the way, we've got a Nintendo Switch that I'm going to give you. You know, the big condition was like, but eventually we're going to need you to download this game that we might be playing at some point, so that you can play it and like unlock some characters for us and things like that." And I was like,
I love the fact that you're gonna be responsible for downloading a game and unlocking characters, because I just can't see you, no offense, like beating whatever. Like it's gonna be like a first person shooting game.
No, it's Mario, like Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I've never really played, but like isn't like a, you know,
it's like the Animal Crossing kind of.
No, not at all.
It's like a cartoon game where you like.
Yeah, but Animal Crossing, you just like are living in a neighborhood.
Sorry, you mentioned Animal Crossing. Interesting. Okay. I was thinking you were playing the game. What was the game? Like the racing game that you played?
Are you thinking Mario Kart?
No, the game that you played that like I couldn't play because it wasn't on Xbox or Mac. At the beginning of COVID, you were streaming a lot, and it was this like knockout game.
Where you thinking Fall Guys?
Fall Guys.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of similar to that, but also not really. I don't know. It's like basically head to head, you fight with characters, like Mario characters, basically. So they have that in some of these esports competitions. We do not have that at WVU as a team yet, but we might down the road. So we have a Switch just in case. But I have been using it a lot. I've bought did you ever have like a Nintendo Wii growing up?
My sister, after I moved out, my sister got one. Okay. It's like we would play when we were home on like breaks and stuff.
Yeah. So my favorite thing about the Wii that we had was the sports game where you would have like bowling and tennis and baseball and all that stuff. And this has a like Nintendo Switch sports game where it's the same thing. So I've been playing a lot of tennis recently with that and doing some bowling. I'm on my quest for a perfect 300 game in bowling.
I always thought the tennis games were the best on those.
It's always been my favorite, and it's still so much fun.
Did you ever play you said you like the old school Mario Tennis? Did you ever play that?
I was never because I never really had, other than like our Wii. My sister had a GameCube, but I never played it. So I never really played much Mario stuff.
I can't even remember what system Mario. I think Nintendo 64 was Mario Tennis.
Yeah, I never had an N64.
I never owned Mario Tennis. Like a friend owned it. And
okay.
Oh, it was the best, because tennis games are like very therapeutic.
Underrated.
I had a tennis game on the OG Xbox.
That was okay. So this is what I was about to say. When I bought my first Xbox, because I've always been a PlayStation. I went PlayStation 2, and then Xbox, and I've been Xbox ever since. When I bought the Xbox, my first games that I bought for the or I didn't even buy it. It like came, the packages where you like, it's the console plus like one or two games back then. Right. the two games that came with it were NCAA football,
man,
and it was like, I think it was called Topspin. Was that the name
yeah,
of the
Top
franchise?
Spin. Yep, yep.
And I was like, oh, I'm never gonna play this tennis game, especially if I'm getting NCAA football. But then Topspin became like one of my favorite games to play on that Xbox for a long time.
Dude, I love Topspin. You could like create your guy and you
yeah,
play in
that's
like
exactly what I did.
Tournaments and like in like parks.
It was so much fun. And like just playing it on that Switch, I've like started to search for tennis games that I could just play now.
That's what I'm doing right now.
I need to find like what is the best tennis game, because I think we should absolutely get a tennis game and play it.
I would totally be down to do that.
Yeah. Especially if we can find one. I mean, I guess we can get it on the Xbox if we need to. But like if we can find one that's like crossplay where I could play it on this. Yeah, it's this Topspin game with like Sampras on the cover.
I'm trying to figure out if it's on like
the one that I had was Sampras, Leighton Hewitt, and Anna Kournikova on the cover. What a game.
It looks like there's like a tennis world tour game on Xbox.
Yeah. I'm just realizing that was a 2K game.
Really?
Yeah. It was Microsoft Studios and 2K Sports.
Yeah, I had like Topspin like 2 or something. I can't even remember. It was
okay.
Like,
I had this one was like the original one.
Topspin 3, I think, is what I had.
Yeah, I had like the very first one.
What a game! What a throwback!
Oh man, so much fun. Yeah, we need to find a tennis game to play, because I'm so into it. But the cool thing about this, like on the Wii, at least I don't think it was like this. On the Wii, you couldn't play online. I don't think.
Well, like, God, I can't remember.
Or maybe it was the thing where you had to like buy a membership.
Yeah,
I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But on this, you can just, because you're connected to the Wi-Fi, you can just play online against whoever. And that makes it even more fun, because like it's one thing to just play against the computer all the time. But like when you actually get to like play tennis or bowling or something like that against another person, it's so much fun. But yeah, I don't know. Just get a Switch and we'll play tennis.
I don't know that that's in the
you can do it.
The takings, but
you can do it. Honestly, it would be a great thing for you to have on the road.
I don't have time to play video games on the road.
Yes, you
dude.
do. You're on planes.
I like work on planes.
You need to not work. You need to not work as much.
Okay. We'll see, man.
I want you to live past 50. So don't have like work stress induced.
Someone did say after the game the other day that it looked like the blood vessels in my face were about to pop.
Yeah, that I don't want that. I don't want issues like that for you. But yeah, I don't know. It's so much fun. And guess what? Segue. You know, it was also fun, such as Nintendo Switch tennis.
Wow, we actually set that up really well.
This week's movie club, we watched for our 4th. We are at the halfway point on sports movies. We watched the 2015. I don't even want to call it a movie because it's only 45 minutes. HBO original production, 7 Days in Hell.
The worst movie I've ever seen.
I cannot wait to get into why you don't think this movie is good. It is a mockumentary style movie. I'll call it a movie. Based on a fictional rivalry between two tennis stars who play in a 7-day long match, starring Andy Samberg, Lonely Island, SNL, Hot Rod, Palm Springs, favorite of the show, and then Kit Harington from Game of Thrones, who I will admit, did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
No,
didn't, right?
I like the blood.
I got that's true. Yeah, I got a couple seasons into it and just wasn't feeling it. He was fine. And then a lot of other like notable people. John, please tell me why you didn't like this movie.
I was embarrassed the fact that like Serena Williams thought that would be a good idea for her to be in.
Because it is a good idea.
Dude, it was so it was.
Did you want it to be serious?
I wanted it to be less of a joke than it was. I wanted it to just be a comedy.
It is. It was a comedy.
It was an over the top, inappropriate,
Oh my
awful.
God.
I just hated it, man. It wasn't what I expected. I just didn't like it.
I think so.
I'm glad it was only 40 minutes or whatever it was.
As somebody who like, I mean, I think if you know what you're getting with Andy Samberg, right? Like this is his comedy that he does. That like absurd style. I mean, even things that we love, like Palm Springs, is out there. It's wild. It's
Palm
absurd.
Springs was normal compared to
no,
this.
It wasn't.
Okay. Well, okay, fair point.
It's an absurd style comedy, and that's like what that's been their whole thing. So I kind of knew what we were getting into with it. That he's gonna take this story and crank it up to like 12, and it's such a fascinating. I mean, it's kind of a crazy concept that this could happen in real life. Like, what was the one match with Isner? How do you pronounce his name?
Isner and Mahut.
How long did that one last?
Like 3 days. It was the same thing. That's what it was based off of.
It's wild that's what I mean. Like, it's crazy that like this feels like such an unrealistic thing until you like know about tennis and say like, yeah, like this actually
happened.
Could legitimately be a thing that happens in like a major tournament that halts the tournament a little bit. I mean, somewhat. I know they have other courts, but I don't know.
But it did like mess it up, right? Because it was not at the end. So this was, I think, the end, right? This was like the last game.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So that was actually when it happened in real life. That was in the middle. So it messed up the schedule going forward.
Yeah. It just knocks everything out of whack just because like neither of these guys can get that edge.
I believe Wimbledon changed the rule, by the way, so that there's no longer.
Oh, really?
You no longer have to win by 2. I feel like that happened. Yeah.
But I think I say all that to say that I think that is why I do like this as much as I do. Because I think being able to take this like actual real life concept that you're like, oh, wow, that's weird that it can actually kind of take 3 days to complete a match, and saying, okay, but what if we took that idea and made it like just ridiculous? Like let's make it even more ridiculous than it really could be. And I think adding the touches like him being an adopted Williams sibling is it's stuff that makes it like so stupid and funny. And it's the kind of thing that makes me like it. It's exactly why I like Andy Samberg. Everything like, I mean, if you watch Hot Rod, it's like that. If you watch, he's got that movie Pop Star that is very similar, where he's like, hey, you know how ridiculous we find celebrities like Justin Bieber? What if he was like times 10 worse? And it's like, oh, these people are just so crazy and hilarious to watch. And so that's why it really worked for me. I don't know if it would have worked as a full length movie, because it is such a like small scale thing. But they've done 2 of these things that are like them working with HBO Sports to do crazy, like absurd stories. The other one is called Tour de Pharmacy, which is making fun of
like Lance Armstrong
in cycling and stuff like that. Also really, really good. Like, I think it's been forever since I've seen it, so I might have the transition wrong, but I believe like Andy Samberg's character in that one starts to take steroids, and then the next scene we see him and he's John Cena. Just like so stupid. And it's similar to this, where it's like, I don't think they overstay their welcome, and it's like, it's such a good thing. It's not like one of my favorite sports movies, but I think it was such an interesting one that I wanted to, I thought it'd be fun to watch.
Man, I hated it.
I think you need to give it another shot.
Fucking hated it. Just horrible.
It's disappointing.
I want to watch the Lance Armstrong like doping one though, because I remember seeing. It's probably similar. I'll probably hate it too.
I mean, if you hated this one, you will hate that.
Got it. Okay. So maybe I don't need to watch it.
I mean, I personally think you should watch it, but I don't know. I do not think it's the worst thing we've watched. I will say that.
Okay. Well, I will rank it last for sure.
I would. So we have so far watched Moneyball. I would put Moneyball number 1. Then I go Waterboy. Then I go this, and then I go Miracle.
You think this is better than Miracle?
Ultimately, it's not cliche. Yeah, 100%.
Dude, no fucking way.
I say
no fucking way.
I say it was zero hesitation.
No, that is the most maybe I've ever disagreed with you. The fact that you think that trash film, I don't even want to call it a movie, was better than Miracle.
I'll allow it to be ranked lower than Miracle for one reason only, and
because it's 40 minutes.
Just because it's 40 minutes. So it's like I almost kind of think it doesn't, like, for instance, on Letterboxd, when I watch they don't have a lot of TV shows on Letterboxd.
Yep.
But like a lot of the shows that are like one season only, they'll put on there because they are like a contained story. You know what I mean? And when I log something like that I watch on Letterboxd, I don't give it a star rating. And that's what I did for this. I didn't give it a star rating because I don't really consider it like a movie. I think of it as like a TV special. So for that reason, I'll allow it to be ranked below because I don't necessarily consider it a movie. But in terms of pure quality, I would watch this over Miracle 8 days a week, without a doubt. Just because we've talked about my problems with it. I don't need.
I know. Yeah. No,
I don't need to go more into my issues with Miracle, aka any other Disney sports movie from the 2000s. So just sub the coach, sub the sport, and it's the same thing. But with that said, what are we gonna watch next week? Do you have anything?
I want to watch. It's actually revolving
around
right.
You did have
doping and cycling called Icarus. Icarus. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I would imagine it's Icarus.
Icarus. It is Icarus. It is Icarus.
I have never heard of this.
So it's based on a true story. It's a documentary about basically how the Russian government-sponsored doping arm was basically uncovered because of this guy filming the documentary. Like, my understanding is when he started filming the documentary, this is not what it was meant to be about.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I'll say this. It was meant to be about doping, but he didn't think that he was going to uncover a Russian sponsored doping.
Right. He was just like,
program.
Oh, let's like go into it. And also we're going to be filming them as we get into it. And then he sort of was like, oh,
and then all of a sudden he like walked his way into it.
Huh. That's cool. That's the kind of stuff that's like so fascinating. Yeah, I'm excited. There's so many good docs we could do for this. Like, it really could be just this could be a separate thing. Because man, I don't know. Do you have a favorite one? I mean, is this
I like Sunderland Till I Die. I think that's really good.
Have you seen this one?
I have seen this one.
You have?
Yeah. But
Sunderland Till I Die is a show, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a docu-series.
Okay. I was meaning like movie doc, like one.
This would not be my favorite, but I couldn't tell you what it is just because I'm not like thinking about it. Gotcha. I mean, the latest documentary on the behind the scenes event people, US Soccer, that one was pretty good too.
There we go. Yeah. It's my favorite one.
Yeah. It should be.
Mine is I will not make us watch it because it's like 3 some hours long, but it's Hoop Dream. Like Hoop Dreams is like a perfect documentary to me. And it's like
I've actually never seen that.
It's like one of my favorite sports movies, period. Like a top 2 or 3 sports movie, period, for me. I think it's so, I love ones that like take, I mean, I don't know how long of a time this one that we're getting ready to watch like takes place over, but I love a movie that like they spend years filming it. So like Hoop Dreams is really cool because it takes place over the course of like several years. Like, it picks these kids up when it follows the careers of 2 young basketball players who have dreams of playing in the NBA or college basketball, and picks them up from like the time they're in middle school all through their high school and into college careers.
And it's a movie, or is it a series?
It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Came out in 1994. Weirdly enough, 1994, it was nominated for an Oscar for like editing, but did not get a nomination for like best documentary. So you know, like documentaries never get into any other categories pretty much, except for documentary. So for this one to get into one of the other bigger categories, but get snubbed in documentary is always so weird to me, especially because it's a perfect documentary. But so I'm excited. I think this will be cool though. I've doping and stuff like that is stuff that I know nothing about, but stories about it are always so fascinating to me. And it's always like, I'll read it and be like, I need to learn more about this. And then I never follow through.
This came out like right after, remember the Olympics, there was the big Russian doping thing. This is all related to that.
Yeah.
Which is,
that's why because I remember that being a massive story. And I'm pretty pumped about that one. So I hadn't even thought about that as a possibility for this. So this is a great pick.
I feel so proud that I picked something that you're excited about watching.
And it is on Netflix.
It is on Netflix.
That is what we will watch the next time we get together. And with that, that's all we have for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to us if you are not already on whatever podcast app or on YouTube. And where can they yell at you for not liking this movie, John?
phoninginpodcast@gmail.com or phoninginpod on Twitter and Facebook.
I'm going to buy bots to target you for not liking that movie. But as always, a shout out to Miguel Silva Leon for our theme song. Check out Saving Miles Lemon on Spotify or Apple Music. And with that, that's all we have for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. We will see you next time.